Kia ora everybody, Chris Farhi here, Bayleys Insights and Data team. We've got Ankur Dakwale. In this video, we'll give you a quick update on the conditions in the housing market as we enter November 2023. And Christmas is coming pretty quickly. So in this video, we cover house price stats, some sale examples, and a bit of outlook for the market. So Ankur, what's the key takeouts that we'll be chatting about?
Yeah, the key takeouts are the prices are rising in some regions, and this is predominantly driven by positive sentiment, surging migration, and fewer good homes for sale.
Yeah, cool. So it's in a nutshell if you don't want to watch the whole video. But so first off, we've got the latest housing market stats from REINZ and realestate.co.nz. First big trend is that sales activity is improving. And so Ankur, what have we got from the sales results?
Yeah, so in the month of September 2023, we just had over 5,400 homes sold. So it's around halfway between last year's quiet year and a typical pre-pandemic year.
Yeah, cool. And then sort of associated with that, the supply of homes for sale is getting tighter. So as at the end of September, there were 23,600 homes for sale on realestate.co.nz. This has been steadily trending down over probably the last 6 months. Still a little bit higher than pre-pandemic years, but we are seeing a trail down from that peak of sort of last year, which is cool. And then when you start to look at house prices, what are we seeing there?
Yeah, so the house prices are rising. The New Zealand house price index has been steadily rising for the last 4 months, and the median house price rose from 767,500 to 785,000 in the past month.
Yeah, and so that was kind of interesting because a lot of people were sort of hanging out for the bottom of the market. And what's actually happened is that looks to have passed for the minute anyway. I think the bottom was somewhere around May. So prices are up maybe 3 or 4% since then. Regional results do vary though. So we're seeing the strongest trend for house price rises in the Auckland region and the Wellington region. And then once you get into the other regions, it's a little bit of a mix as to what's been happening over the past 6 months. So I mentioned just briefly that the median house price for last month was 785,000. Question that we're always interested in is what could you have bought for that price? So Ankur, what do we have?
Yeah, so up in Auckland, we have 2 Beazley Place in Glendene. This is 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home on 421 square meters. Now, this was marketed with a set date of sale, sold under multi-offer, and this was sold by Victoria Turner from Bayleys, One Tree Hill. Meanwhile,
down in Dunedin, you could have got 20 Carnarvon Street in Bellknowes. And this is an elegant home with a magic garden, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom on 473 square meters. This was also marketed with set date of sale. It sold 1 week early after an unconditional cash offer, and they were sold by Alice Munro from Bayleys Dunedin.
Now, if we get away from the cities, up in Northland, we have 110 State Highway 12 in Opononi. Now, this is a profitable holiday home by the sea, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms on 809 square meters. This was sold to someone whose family used to stay there in the past, and this was sold by Lisa Pocklington and Todd Scudder from Bayleys and Dargaville.
Yeah, that was quite exciting. It's quite cool that you could get a waterfront home at the median house price. Cool little opportunity up in Northland there. Now turning to the outlook for the housing market. So if you went back maybe 12 months ago, 2 big themes that were sticking out was this downward trend in prices and uncertainty around interest rates. Fair to say that both of those have changed quite a bit. So on the interest rate space, Ankur, what have we got there at the moment?
Yeah, so on the interest rate side, we've got economists are generally picking that the interest rates are at their peak or near their peak now. Concerns that the RBNZ might have another bump in the official cash rate coming up to the end of the year, but latest inflation data is weaker than expected, so it'll be a bit of a trade-off over there. An overall sense that the interest rates are now getting under control, but unlikely to drop in the short term.
Yeah, it's true. And we've seen a little bit of bouncing around over the past month. We have seen a couple of the major banks lift their rates very slightly, but it's fair to say it's kind of within a tight band at the moment, which is good for the market. And so when you look at that downward trend in prices, it's fair to say that that's not really a thing anymore. So we've had several months of New Zealand's house price index increasing, and that's led by the major cities like Auckland and Wellington. Now it's fair to say that the rise in prices is pretty slow and steady at the moment, so it's not like what we saw in 2021 where things were just boosting it. But we are starting to see that sort of steady trend becoming apparent in the data now as well. And then when we look forward on the market, the 2 things that we're sort of most interested in at the moment are the surging migration and the change of government, both factors likely to put more pressure into the housing market. And so Ankur, in the migration space, what do we have there at the moment?
Yes, we've had a record migration over the past 12 months with over 110,000 people coming into the country. Now we're picking that the rental will continue to rise even though it's at near historic highs, and this will also prompt more activity in both the investor market and the first home buyer market as well.
Yeah, and that's something that we're starting to see in Australia as well. Record migration coming in there is putting pressure on house prices from both first home buyers and actually the migrants over there. So kind of interesting. And then the other thing that we've been talking about for a little while is the sort of wild card of the changing government. And so it's fair to say we don't know exactly where the changing government will land at the moment and what that might mean for policies. But it's also fair that the leading parties have indicated that they want to bring back interest deductibility for rental housing. And there's also a lot of talk about the foreign buyer ban being removed for, in National's cases, homes above 2 million. Now, both of those policies are likely to add more demand to the housing market at sort of different price points in the market. So we think that you've got this combination of surging migration and then changes to government policies that are all going to boost more demand into the market. So our sort of overall view is that we're likely to see prices continue to rise in the short term. So yeah. So look, with that said, we'll wrap up this video here. If you do want to get a little bit more information about what's happening in your local market, then reach out to your preferred Bayleys agent. With that said, cheers, Ankur.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.